What's going on YouTube? My name is Ohpon. Today we have like a Joji slash like weekend type beat, and I'm gonna show you pretty much how I came up with this, or like what I did for this beat. And I'm gonna let you listen to it first. Let's take a listen. Right? It's a very different beat, but I love it. I love the potential of what it is. So let's go ahead and take a listen to it. We'll start off with what I have starting off here in the beginning, which a lot of time when I make beats, I like to start off with a like an ambiance layer or a tonal layer that kind of just sets the mood. So that's what I did here, which is pretty much just this. Let's see what instrument this is. It's a Japanese vibe retrolog. This is a Cubase stock plugin, and as far as the synth, it's this Japanese vibe, and I have this in probably A minor, and A minor or A major, but as far as this note, it's just playing an A that ends off at a B. Right? And I believe that just, and then that's the first 4 bars, and on the second 8 bars, it changes here. I'm gonna solo this to this. It just goes back to A a little quicker. So that's how we start how we started off. And then the layer that I went to from there is probably just adding in these chords here. And this is collab. It's like an organ, free organ actually, that you can get free VST. Right? And then there's some bass notes here. And actually, it seems like this might be this might be just A minor. Oh no. Yeah, so I believe this is A major. Yeah, so A major. And yeah, so just playing some triads here, and it goes up. A lot of times you'll see triads, or you'll see chord structures where it goes like up and down the scale to kind of, so it's easier to bring back home. But with this, for some reason, I don't know, I just like the feel of it going up, like it having a climax, and creating a rising tension in the beat. So you have those whole note triads, and then the bass note kind of just bounces back and forth between this D and the D on octaves. And if I go ahead and pull up, let's see here, the piano roll, and then I also engage that synth that we were just looking at. As far as the bass note, this is the synth that we had, that long synth note here, and then it went up. So I'm kind of following that same idea with the organ. I had these notes. I'm gonna turn this off now so it's not confusing. I had this bass note kind of drop as well, like it did on that first sound. And if we want to listen to those two together, this is what it sounds like. This is the same thing. I just layered it. So I added another instrument where I took that same MIDI, and this time I have it playing this pad, this synth pad. Let's solo that so we can hear it. So I have it playing that pad, and I just copied over the MIDI. So it's playing the same thing. It just adds another texture, so I layered it. And then obviously, as I arranged the beat, I decided to bring it in later in the beat. So we have that, and there's a little color area here that we have as well, that we are using this electric piano. I got this free from Waves thanks to Sanji on YouTube. There was a code that he had, promo code or whatever, and this is what this is doing. Just to add some texture, and when that comes in, it sounds like this. Right? And that's pretty much all for like the chords and stuff. There's this little fun polysynth thing that's happening. I'll show you what that sounds like by itself. Really small texture here. Just that little small sound. And with everything. Right? And then for the bridge, I have this, or for the chorus, I have this guitar that comes in. And I'll show you what that sounds like. And that just repeats every 4 bars. And what's doing most of the work here is this lo-fi space plugin that was free from Waves a couple Black Fridays ago, which is giving it that like reverb and delay. And with everything, that sounds like this. And everything with that rise and tension just sounds good together in my opinion. So that's pretty much all of the like melodic structures, melodic aspects that we have to it. And then there's this chorus, this bridge that kind of happens here, where it changes up a little bit. So now in this bridge section, we've added another layer. This is kind of following the same MIDI as the guitar, but still different in its own way. It sounds like this. So that's what's happening there. Quite fun. And then we also added this, and as far as this is also a Heliosonic FM bells preset from a Cubase instrument. And then we have addictive keys here doing this. Or at least I believe it's addictive keys. Let's see. Yeah. And as far as the preset, it's the 80s arena. So that's sounding like this. Right, and that's following that rise in tension as well. And then we went from this original sound that we had here. We went from that to, let me solo this. We went from this and we copied the MIDI over to this bit flip and kind of did a similar thing here. So this is a bit flip plugin. Once it loads here. Or no, it's not, sorry. It's a Eternal Earth Contact plugin, also free. And that's sounding like this. right? Some weird funky, and I have the same thing on the next 4. Um, nice and funky, and like really odd. I don't know, ambience. And this is what it sounds like in the bridge section. Let me just solo this information. And then forgot to mention, for the addictive keys we go up this 4, and on the other 4 we go down. So it sounds like this. So it plays a little differently. Here, let me do these together so you can kind of see the MIDI together. So I just bounce those 2 together so we can see them side by side. So now you kind of see like how the MIDI goes. It's not played the exact same way. Right? It's like one of my favorite. Those little small textures are like so, they make such a big difference. And as far as like lyrically for that section, I have some scratch vocals that I haven't recorded like for real yet, but this is the verse that I have for that part.
I can taste blood as I kiss goodbye. Got me breathing on the edge. Will I ever say hi again? Made a bed, but we tuck in the knife. Back and forth, pigs quick to wanna turn on their lights. On arrival, tell the 5-0 that this all a recital. We know that neighbors were anticipating this all to happen. Accumulating passion like the chemicals in a casket. Fused together with the wicked in a lit box of matches.
I'm so excited for this song when it comes out. Subscribe to the channel so you can see that drop. All right, let's get back to the actual beat though. And then there's another layer. For the bass, I have this 808. That's doing some fun stuff. It's kind of what I think is making a lot of the beat. But it sounds like this. Right, and that's kind of what's giving it a lot of that like weekend vibe. And then another 808 here. I'm gonna solo this so you can hear a little better. And that's kind of like just giving us that like bass element. And I'm using mostly just like 808s to do that. Let's see here what. I don't know why it's not letting me see what instrument this is. Oh, that's why. Because it's a sample that I used from a sample pack. Actually from Busy Works Beats sample pack I used to get that, and then just played it in this sampler, and then just wrote in the MIDI. So same with this. It's this waveform 808 that I drew in that MIDI with. So that's the 808 bass element that we have. And then as far as a kick, pretty simple. And as you see, I have a 808 high and an 808 like bass level, which I usually like will double my basses to get 2 different frequency parts of it. That's what I did there. And then we have a kick as well that comes in, and it's I'll just solo it. All right, so that's kind of like the formula I did with that, and then I layered it. And I like kind of how muted it is as well. And then I also have a well, let's see where our snare is. So for the snare, that's sounding like this. So I have two different snares, and the first snare is on the 3 and the 7, but like kind of spaced out. So basically just on the 3 spaced out. And then this other snare comes in on the 1 with the kick. And then it just repeats. And then we have this hi-hat. We have a couple hi-hat, or more than one hi-hat, but this hi-hat's landing on every kick. So that hi-hat's kind of adding another layer to that kick. And then we have this other hi-hat, which is our like actual like hi-hat pattern. And now you can kind of see the relationship that those two hi-hats have together. Right? So all those elements together sound like this. Take the 808 out. Well, yeah, let's add the 808s in. And then I have some other elements here. I have these perks here, percussion elements, just for some difference. And if you can hear that by itself, it just is like it's a very small little sound. And then this one as well, kind of like a crunch sound, just for some character. And then that's like a muted sound. And I believe this is the same little muted sound. Okay, so that's like a pop. And then the crunch again. So I just added that in like randomly to kind of give it some character. And then around the, what's this? The beat kind of like changes as it goes on. So I added this coming into like the verse, the first verse. Added this section here. Which is like a snare and a rim hit. So that changes around there. And then we also, in that bridge section where this all happens, right? I added this here, which is that percussion sound. I just added it more often. And then I kind of changed up the drums. I took out the 808 and just played the drum. I mean the whatever this is, the kicks and snares and hi-hats. And I took out the hi-hat, the more repetitive hi-hats. Though going back into everything, I added back in the 808 bass element and then a little hi-hat roll to go back into everything. So let me add this in. Let me go back into everything. And that, with the verse that happens right there, kind of adds that nice like transition back into everything. So now that with everything, I think you're ready to hear that bass. Then we go back into the beat. And then at the end here, this very last section, we pretty much have some of those different parts arranged differently together. Sounds like this.
Time and the ones who won't save us the summer. Do love one another.
So that's the song. I can't wait for this to be finished. I got to do the official vocals in the booth, but this beat, the lyrics that go along with this beat, I'm so excited for this all to come together. So stay tuned, subscribe, and listen to it. I'm proud of it.
I'm the ones who won't save us the summer.